future contract. You can see here two parties, A and B, where A is a seller and B is a buyer in the market. Now they are exchanging some contracts through the power exchange, and the exchange is also shown here as a circle. So it says that if A buys a future contract to sell 100 megawatt hours at $15 per megawatt hour. This means that for the seller, what is the risk? The price of energy, if it goes down in future, then it's a risk for him. And on the other hand, for the buyer B, if the price goes high in future, it's a risk for him, right? So what participant A does is that he buys a contract to sell. That means sell 100 megawatt hours at $15 per megawatt hour in the future at some time period. The time period will be mentioned in the contract. That means he thinks that the price will go down. Below $15 per megawatt hour. So he wants to assure the delivery of energy at $15 per megawatt hour. So basically this happens based on the fluctuations of the energy in the spot market. Now another thing you have to be careful here is that the actual delivery of power is not happening here in most of the cases. That is in 90% of the cases, the delivery is not happening. Instead, it is financially settled. That means I'll give you this example. So here the future contract is sold by participant B through exchange. Participant B is a buyer of energy, and future contract is bought by the participant A, and the contract says that the participant A can sell 100 megawatt hours at $15 per megawatt hour. Now you see the trading of contract happens at t equals 0, time t equals 0, where the spot price is $13 per megawatt hour. This is the price now. Okay. Now at expiration date t equals t. So the expiration date will be shown in the contract. At expiration date t equals t, the spot price becomes $17 per megawatt hour. Suppose it becomes $17 per megawatt hour. But the problem here is in the contract it is mentioned that in the expiration date A can sell this only at $15 per megawatt hour. So if he sells his power in the spot market, he will get $17 per megawatt hour. But because of this future contract, he can only sell his energy at $15 per megawatt hour in the derivative market. Okay, so basically $2 loss is there for the seller. For 100 megawatt hours, 2 into $100, so $200 loss is there for the seller A. Where on the other hand, what happens to B? B gets 2 into 100 megawatt hours, that is that amount of dollars, $200, because B while exercising the contract, the actual price is 17, but as B is a buyer, he can get it at 15. So $2 savings is there for B. So $200 loss for A and $200 revenue for B. Okay. Now if the spot price becomes $11 per megawatt hour in the actual spot price, if it becomes $11 per megawatt hour at the expiration date, then what happens? A will get $400 because he can sell it at $15 per megawatt hour as per the contract, as per the future contract that is made, and B loses $400. Okay, now if the spot price becomes $15 per megawatt hour, that means the strike price is equal to the spot price. What is the strike price? Strike price is the price that is quoted in the contract. Here the strike price is $15 per megawatt hour, and at the expiration date the spot price is also $15 per megawatt hour. So no profit, no loss game for both A and B. So this is what is happening in a future contract. By this I am continuing to options contract, and we will do some examples also. If you have any doubt in this, please ask. Are you fine with this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now, see here, you might have seen that the contract is always exercised. That means once the contract is made, at the expiration date, there is an obligation to exercise the contract. So for the buyer and seller, according to the spot price, the spot price at the expiration date, either loss or gain would be there, because definitely it will be exercised. But for option contract, there is a difference. For option contract, whoever is the holder of the option contract, he has the right to exercise it or not. So he can either exercise it or not exercise it. So it is his choice for in the option contract. But there is a problem for option contract, or there is a difference in option contract. That is, we have to pay a premium to buy the option contract. That means whoever is the holder of the option contract, he has to pay a premium for this contract. Because it gives him a choice, right? It's not an obligation, it gives him a choice. So whoever is the seller of the option contract, he will have to honor the contract if the holder of the contract exercises it, because the choice is only for the holder of the contract, because he has paid the premium for the contract to make the contract. So if he exercises it, then the seller of the contract must honor him. Okay, honor the contract. So generally what will happen, if the holder of the contract feels that if he exercises it, he has a gain, then he will exercise it, right? So the other party will lose. We'll see this through an example. Okay, see here. We'll start with the okay. Energy spot price is $10 per megawatt hour today. Party A agrees to buy 50 megawatt hours from party B, a 6-month forward contract at a price of $11 per megawatt hour. Okay, I have mentioned 3 contracts here. One is futures contract, another is option contract, another is forward contract. Forward contract is normally traded over the counter, and in forward contract mostly physical trading may happen. In futures and options contract, mostly it is financially settled. Okay. So you will see here the energy spot price is $10 per megawatt hour today. Party A agrees to buy 50 megawatt hour from party B, a 6-month forward contract at a price of $11 per megawatt hour. So the strike price of the forward contract here is $11 per megawatt hour. The current spot price is $10 per megawatt hour. So today only we are making the forward contract today for a future strike price of $11 per megawatt hour, and party A is a buyer, party B is a seller. Okay, initially the contract is worth 0 when parties enter into a contract, but as time goes on, its value would increase or decrease depending on the asset's spot price. Here, what is the asset? The asset is electricity. So based on the fluctuations of spot price of the asset, gain or loss would be decided. If at any later time the asset price would increase, the buyer of the contract would gain, right? The buyer of the contract would gain and the seller would lose. The delivery price is a fixed price at which buyers and sellers would agree for a forward delivery at expiration. So if physical trading happens, then the delivery of energy is done at the fixed price, which is the strike price quoted in the forward contract. Okay, now you will see here. Okay, now let a distribution company enter into a long forward contract at t equals 0 to buy 100 megawatt hours in 2 months at a price of $10.8 per megawatt hour. This means that here both the parties have an obligation for the trade of electricity at a strike price of $10.8 per megawatt hour. Okay, so you can see in the table for 2-month forward contract, the strike price is $10.8 per megawatt hour. This contract would obligate the distribution company to buy 100 megawatt hours for $1,080. So if the spot price rises to $14 per megawatt hour, then what will happen to the buyer? What will happen?
Buyer will be in profit, sir.
Yes, so because the actual spot price is $14 per megawatt hour in that period, in the exercising period, but he can get it at $10.8 per megawatt hour. So there is a difference of 14 minus 10.8, which is 3.2. So 3.2 and the quantity is 100 megawatt hours. So 3.2 into 100 megawatt hours will give you $320. So the distribution company will gain $320. Likewise, if the spot price drops to $8 per megawatt hour at the end of 2 months, then you know that for forward contract and future contract, it is an obligation, and for options contract only we have choice for the holder, and that too for the holder. So here in this case, you are obligated to exercise the trade. So what happens is here actual price is $8, but what happens? The buyer has to buy at what price? What is mentioned in the strike price? Here what is mentioned in the strike price? The strike price is 10.8. So he has to do it at 10.8. He has to buy it at 10.8. So the forward contract would make the disco pay $280 more than the energy market price. So he is in loss now. Okay, so these are the this is the forward contract, and now we'll see what is short hedging. Please, be careful about this term, short and long. This is called short hedging. Short hedging is the practice of offsetting the price risk by taking an equal but opposite position in the futures market. That means in the spot market, what are you going to do? You are going to physically trade electricity. In the derivative market, what can you do? You can buy some, you can exercise some financial instruments, or you can trade some contracts in which you can gain, or you can gain through financial settlements. So whatever loss you are expecting from the actual physical trading in the spot market, you are trying to compensate it with the financial market, or financial derivative or derivative instruments. An independent power supply IPS could fear that. Here, second point, an independent power supplier IPS could fear that the price of its electricity would drop. To secure a cash flow, IPS chooses a short hedging strategy on the electricity futures market. He goes for the futures market. Okay, now IPS on Jan 1 would expect that 100 megawatt hours would be sold in the March cash market at $15 per megawatt hour. That means here physical contract may or may not happen, we don't know, but anyway, if it's in the spot market, then physical trading will happen. Okay, so for 100 megawatt hour, he expects that $15 per megawatt hour he will get. Okay, so in futures market, IPS would sell a March electricity futures contract for the expected exchange price $15 per megawatt hour. The future sales would be 1,500. Okay, so he is selling a March electricity future contract for the expected exchange price because he wants to assure his rate at $15 per megawatt hour. Now, what is happening in the actual expiration date? On February 15th, if price falls to $13 per megawatt hour, then what happens? IPS would sell 100 megawatt hours for March at $13 per megawatt hour because physical trading happens at spot price. Spot price is now $13 per megawatt hour, but what he was expecting was $15 per megawatt hour. This would entitle IPS to receive $1,300, which means that the IPS would encounter $2,000 less than what is expected. His budgeted value was $1,500, but his actual amount, the actual amount he earns is only 1,300. So 200 is a loss for him. He is a seller, he is a supplier. Okay, but what he has done to hedge this risk, he has participated in the derivative market, right, for $15 per megawatt hour price. So now what happens is the best thing to do for not standing for the delivery would be that IPS buys back its futures contract. When IPS buys back its futures contract for $13 per megawatt hour, which is worth $1,300, it would give IPS a gain in futures market of $200. In this hedging, 200 is lost in the physical trading, 200 is gained in the financial trading. So it is offset now. It is actually 0. Okay, what this explains is that for a seller in financial market, he can either have a buying contract or a selling contract because it is financially settled, right? But in the spot market, anyway, he is a seller, so physically he has to deliver the electricity. So based on the risk he wants to hedge, he can take a position in the financial market. Even if he is a physical trader of electricity, he can even go for buying contracts. That is also possible. That is what happened here. For a buying contract, what happened is the future value, the value of future was $15 per megawatt hour. So at that price, he actually sold it. The future contract was sold based on the future value. Okay, so he got $15 per megawatt hour. I mean, if it is for 100 megawatt hour, then 100 into 15 he got. But when buying back the future, at that time $13 is the only amount. So 1,300 is the 300 is only lost, right? But 1,500 he already got. So $200 gain is there in the financial market. So that is what is known as the short hedging. This position of the participant is known as short hedging. Okay, now
Sir?
one more. Yeah, anything?
Yes, sir. In this example, like I want to say that, let's suppose I bought some particular, like I bought some company's future at let's suppose 13 rupees. Then it went to 15 rupees, and then we are buying a put call, like similar kind of thing you are trying to speak. Like if we are not getting good profits, or we are taking we are shorting the some kind of commodity or derivative.
Yes, you are shorting some kind of commodity. That is what is done. But here also, this is kind of a gambling because it all depends on his feeling. He feels that either the energy price goes down, or he feels that the energy price goes high. So if he is playing with the forward contract or future contract, if he goes wrong, then he may incur some loss, definitely, because it is obligation, right?
Yes.
In future and forward contract is obligation. So it all depends on the actual intrinsic value of the commodity. But this time it helped him. That's all.
Sir, let's suppose he buys and sells same quantity, then he will be in profit always. Let's suppose at a particular price.
Are you asking about the future value price or the actual
Yes,
energy price?
sir. Future.
Future price means if he sells it at suppose $13.
Yes, sir.
And the actual price is also $13, then it is no profit, no loss from financial instrument.
Yes, sir.
Right, financial trading. He has a loss in physical market also. So it is net earning is not there. Net earning is negative for him. That is loss only.
Yes.
But as he was able to able to sell the futures contract at $15, and his feeling of price going to decline, it happened to be right or true. That is why he got this profit. Okay, so he's taking this position. He's taking such a position that is that is what it is shown here. It is an equal but opposite position. What is that? Equal but opposite position.
Yes,
That
sir.
means for $100 is the quantity, right? The quantity is equal, but he is taking an opposite position in the futures market.
Sir,
Right.
it's like buying a put option in market, like same.
Option we cannot say here because option in the sense it is a choice. That is why I'm not using the term put option. I'm only using the term future here because in option you have a premium, of course, because so this premium is not there here. In this case, we don't have a premium. So that is why I'm not using the term put option or call option. Rather, I'm using this just futures only. Okay. You will get I think you will get a better idea when you go to the options contract, and after that maybe we can have some 10 to 15 minutes questionnaire session. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now you see here. Okay. Yeah. Now there are two types of options. One is call option and another one is put option. Put option is the right to sell and call option is the right to buy. See here, the term used is right and not the obligation. Okay, so whoever is the holder of the options contract, he has the choice of either exercising it or not. It is his wish. Okay, now you can see here a distribution company would buy 200 call options at a price of $2 per option. That is a entry cost 200 into 2 $400 at a strike price of $10 per megawatt hour. So he has already paid some amount per option, and 200 is the 200 call options he has bought for $2. So entry expense is there for him. For entry in the financial market, he has an expense that is $400. And call option is right to buy. So in future, according to the price, either he can exercise the call option or not. That means he can either exercise the purchase or not because he is a buyer. Okay, a call option is the right to buy. Let the spot price at T equals 0 be $10 per megawatt hour. The expiration date be 3 months, and the distribution company could only exercise the options at the expiration time. Now, if the spot price of energy at the expiration time is less than $10 per megawatt hour, then the DISCO would either exercise buying the contracted amount or not, depending on the spot price at the expiration date. So what could be, what is his option now, whether he will exercise it or not? If the spot price of energy at the expiration date is less than $10 per megawatt hour. In the contract, the strike price is $10 per megawatt hour and he is a buyer, but the actual price is $8 per megawatt hour. So it says that the intrinsic value, the asset value is only $8 per megawatt hour, but he wants to own it or he wants to buy it. He has to give $10 per megawatt hour, right? So if he exercises it, then he would be in loss. So better not to exercise it. But even if he doesn't exercise it, there is a loss for him because he has already paid the premium $2 per option. So $400 is already a loss. Right. Now, if it is $11 per megawatt hour, then what will happen? $1, if he exercises it, $1 per megawatt hour he will get. Right. So $1 for 200 megawatt hour means $200 he has a profit. He has a profit of $200, but already $400 is lost. So again, it is a loss for him. Right. So he may not he will exercise it because at least this amount he will get $1 he will get for megawatt hour, 1 megawatt hour, but still it is a loss for him. Now, if it is $12 per megawatt hour, then what will happen? Initially, entry cost is there for no profit, no loss, right? It is no profit, no loss for him if he exercise, but anyway, he will exercise it because it is better to exercise. Otherwise, this full 400 is loss. I mean, if he exercises it, then it is zero, right? Now, if it goes to $13 per megawatt hour, the spot price, then he starts gaining,
Profit.
right? Yes, he starts gaining. So that is what is happening here. So the holder of the contract has the choice to either exercise it or not. But if I mean, based on the gain he expects, gain or loss he expects. Okay, that is what is happening here. And call option is a right to buy. That is why the distribution company would is buying 200 call options. Okay, now you see here. Let me see.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, let's suppose he bought at 10 rupees, then he can also average the price by thereby reducing the loss, or maybe no profit, no loss. That is also hedging.
Averaging the price in the sense I didn't get it.
Let's suppose he bought at 10 rupees and the price went to 8 rupees. He is having 2 rupees loss.
Yeah.
And to cover up, he bought some more quantity at 8 rupees just by averaging the total price.
That can be done. That can be done. But he has to participate in other contracts then.
Okay.
Okay, that is also hedging. It is possible. See, this is I mean specific to this problem. I'm saying, okay, specific to this problem, he has only participated in this contract. Okay, he has no other contracts. Yes. See, he may have taken other positions with other financial instruments. Maybe he has bought some put options, right? Yes, so based on that, he has another loss or gain in the other transaction. That is happening. Of course, this is just an example. Okay. Now we will see. Yes, here. On January 1, the Genco is expecting to sell 500 megawatt hours in spot market in April. Genco is long electricity. That means the Genco is expecting to sell 500 megawatt hours. Genco is a seller, as you know, 500 megawatt hours in spot market in April. Assume cost of production is $12 per megawatt hour. The energy spot price on January 1 is $12 per megawatt hour, and the futures price for delivery in April is $8 per megawatt hour. That means the strike price for futures is $8 per megawatt hour. Risk of price drop, Genco would sell future contract for $8 per megawatt hour. In April, what happens is Genco would then sell energy at spot price and buy futures contract to close its financial position, but because he is trying to compensate his loss in the spot market using financial market. If the future price converges with the spot price at the delivery time arrives, when the delivery time arrives, and if the future price is equal to the spot price when the position is closed, the Genco would be totally hedged against price risk. That means if contract price equals spot price, then in that case he is in no profit, no loss. At least I mean what he expects from the spot market he is getting like that. The net amount is like that. He just compensates. Now we'll have a generic we'll see the generic dynamics of this. Okay, now you see here the first figure shows the call option, right? Call option in the sense it is right to put option is right to sell and call option is right to buy. Okay, so right to buy in the sense it is at some strike price. Strike price is shown here. Right to buy. Okay, so suppose it is $10. $10 is the strike price. So below $10, for all these values, what happens is the actual price is this below strike price, but when it is exercised, he will have to bear the loss at strike price. So this area is out of the money for the option. If the option exercised, out of the money. Now if the spot price is greater than strike price, then this is right to buy, right? So even if the spot price is higher than strike price, he has the right to buy at strike price, right? So it is beyond this point, it is in the money for the option holder, in the money. Now at strike price, what happens? No profit, no loss. Then it is at the money. Okay. Now if there is no premium, okay, if there is a premium, then what happens? If there is a premium, then at strike price also he has a loss, right? Beyond strike price also, suppose $10 is the strike price, $2 he has already paid for the premium. Then even if the spot price is $11, he is incurring a loss of $1 per megawatt hour, but still he exercises it. Otherwise he will have a loss of $2 per megawatt hour. Now he is only having a loss of $1 per megawatt hour. So after the strike price, anyway, he is going to exercise it. So this is in the money in the sense when exercised, some saving is there. That is what is in the money. Okay. Now below strike price, if the spot price is below strike price, if exercised, it is out of the money. Okay, now it is exactly opposite for the put option. You see the put option here. What is put option? Put option means right to sell.
Right to sell.
Okay, right to sell. So again at the strike price, if the spot price is at the strike price, it is at the money. Right now it is, if the spot price is below the strike price, then what happens is he can actually sell at strike price. Right. So this is in the money for him. Beyond that, it is out of the money for him. Okay, so this is what is the generic dynamics of price versus gain, spot price versus gain for the option holder. Okay, now the difference between futures and for future forwards and options are shown here. The delivery of the contract is done in the future. In any cases, spot market it is immediate, as you know. Then the payment is done in the future for all these things, because after the expiration date, right? At the expiration date only it is done. So in the future, all these are done in the future. See, either in the expiration date or after the purchase of the contract. From the next day onwards, they start settling. So each day it is settled, and at the expiration date it is completely settled. So you will see the net settlement. That is another option. So you will see here. You see here. Okay. This is the, suppose this FT is the strike price. FT is the strike price, and for 1 month, 1 month is the duration of the contract. Suppose the one for the coming month, the contract is active. Okay, now on the first day after purchase of the contract, or first day after entering the contract, F1 is the spot price. Okay, so the settlement on first day is F1 minus strike price, the difference between the spot price of the first day and the strike price. Now for the second day, it is the difference between the spot price of first day and the second day. Now on the third day, it is the difference between the third day and the second day. So similarly, if it goes like that, on the 30th day, the amount settled would be the difference between the spot price of 29th day and 30th day. But you can see here, this F1 and F1 is cancelled. This F2 and F2 is cancelled. Similarly, all such terms would be cancelled, and the remaining would be only F30 minus FT. Right. So in that case, what happens is this is spot price after 1 month. So this is actually we reached the expiration date. So this depends on the spot price of the expiration date. So after 30 days, what is the spot price and what is the strike price? Basically, this is what is a net settlement, F30 minus FT. That is why we use this for settlement. Okay, this is this may be settled every day, but net effect is this. That's all. So this is what is about. See, I will continue the same topic for 2 or 3 more lectures. We have some big numerical problems for this. Involving all the contracts, futures, forwards, and options, and even bilateral contract for the Gencos and distribution companies that we'll see. Then you will get a better idea. So I'm stopping for now.